And joining me in the studio is Europe editor Catherine Nicholson. Catherine, so the German and French proposal for the EU to hold a meeting with Putin has been knocked back.
Yes, it does appear so. But President Macron, who's just wrapped up his post-summit press conference, says he's congratulating himself on the advances that have been made. So the question is he just trying to sort of make this out to be a bit better than it really is? Because, of course, he and Angela Merkel had been talking about seriously reopening dialogue with eventually a summit between the EU and Putin. Well, Emmanuel Macron's saying, we had a complex discussion, that's to be expected, but this is one of the best debates we've had in several years on Russia. And his point really is that he's just trying to break the current sort of system, so to speak, that the EU has, or the current position that the EU holds with Russia, where there's some sort of provocation perceived by the EU, and the EU responds with sanctions and nothing more. There hasn't been a summit between the EU and Russia in 7 years, and that is, of course, a very long period of time. Russia, this giant neighbour on the EU's doorstep, it borders several EU countries, and Emmanuel Macron saying, look, we can't ignore Russia. We also want to work with Russia on issues like climate change that really transcend borders. However, as you pointed out, there's really strong resistance from certain quarters of the EU, particularly the Baltic states, formerly part of the Soviet Union, of course, and very fresh memories for many people there of what Russia meant to them. The Lithuanian president said that the idea of trying to engage with Russia was like trying to ask the bear to keep a pot of honey safe. And Latvia's prime minister also said that the EU risked rewarding Russia with a summit, even though diplomacy has failed to really advance anything. We've got issues such as the EU and Russia's very different positions, we can say, on Ukraine. The EU also issued sanctions after the poisoning of the Skripals in the UK when the UK was still an EU member. There's the whole situation with Alexei Navalny, a whole host of issues where the Baltic states, among others, are saying, where is the progress? We want to see some progress from Russia before we'll move forward. As I said, though, Emmanuel Macron thinks that this is a bit of a step forward and he expects it to keep going in that direction.
And Hungary dominating discussion among those EU leaders in Brussels today. What more can you tell us about that?
Yes, this wasn't an issue at all that was on the official agenda of this EU summit. LGBT rights and essential freedoms, human rights in the EU, but it very much dominated the start of the summit. A letter signed by 17 EU leaders by the start of the summit yesterday, not specifically mentioning Hungary, but saying that they formally and publicly respect and call for the respect of the rights of LGBT people and all people in the European Union. Now, this is all coming back to a new law that's just been passed in Hungary, which is, according to the Hungarians, to do with protecting children's education, but according to critics, it conflates homosexuality, paedophilia, pornography, and it's been taken extremely seriously, not just by the various member states, but also by the European Commission, which is launching some legal action around this. So we've heard that there was a very, very emotional and fiery discussion about this around the table on Thursday, on the first day of the summit. Viktor Orban, the Hungarian Prime Minister, insisting as he entered that he was a freedom fighter during the Soviet years and he protects the rights of homosexuals, but almost nobody else agreeing with him. Poland was backing up Hungary, we're told, but a very, very strong response from other EU leaders. We had the Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte telling journalists he thinks that Hungary has no place as an EU member anymore, essentially ought to be kicked out of the European Union. Emmanuel Macron came back on this during his press conference just now. He said that he doesn't think Hungary should be kicked out of the EU. He thinks that it's better to work on things from within. However, he said that these sorts of values are very important and there must be action because, as he sees it, when the EU is talking to countries that are wanting to join, such as Serbia or Albania, and asking them to make progress on issues of rule of law, he said, we can't have degradations of rule of law within our own membership. So I think that this is very much not the end of this story, but those 25 or so EU leaders who spoke out against Hungary really do seem to have made quite a firm point at this summit.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Catherine Nicholson.